Hey guys, back again. So let's talk about the Blair Witch Project from 1999. And this is a review series for my friend John Kyle. I'm excited that he recommended me seeing this again because I really remember liking the first. I think I like all of them, honestly, all three of the Blair Witch movies in some way, shape, or form. It's a franchise that I think is very, very fascinating because of the fact that it's weird looking at the Blair Witch Project, the original one. And I watched it on DVD. I still haven't upgraded it to Blu-ray, but I don't really rewatch this much. I watched this a couple years ago, and today or yesterday I watched it again. So I don't rewatch the Blair Witch Project that much, but honestly, that makes it kind of its strength because this is a really, really good horror movie, and I was genuinely. It's weird. I was genuinely surprised at remembering how great it was because you have the fact that it's a movie that is a found footage movie, and found footage movies are not always my cup of tea. I remember not liking Hell House LLC, which is another movie that John Kyle recommended, and I didn't really like it, which I was really bummed because I do like the Blair Witch movies. I do like the Paranormal Activity movies, like in terms of like franchise found footage movies. Um, there's some others I can't remember on the top of my head. I know I've seen more, but the found footage genre subgenre is not really my forte. It's not really the thing that I love. Like I always say, slashers is always my favorite subgenre of horror. I can watch any slasher, even if it's terrible. I want to watch it at least just to see it at least one time. Um, but now let's just talk about the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project from 1999. Of course, I didn't see it in 1999. A lot of people thought it was a real thing, which I don't really understand. Like people thought it was a real story, and these were found tapes of three people who were found miss or not found. They were missing in the woods. Um, this is a very interesting thing because it is a found footage movie, but it has it really, like Paranormal Activity, really solidified the found footage subgenre. Even though you had things like Cannibal Holocaust, which I really love as well, but it's that's not one that people mention that much because it's a one-off movie, and it's a movie that a lot of people take real restraint to watch because it has real life animal killings in it, which I understand. Watching that movie was pretty hard for me to watch as well because I really don't like animals getting tortured, and knowing that they were real life animals, yeah, that was pretty awful. But Blair Witch Project, Cannibal Holocaust, and Paranormal Activity are really the ones that did really create the found footage subgenre and keep it going throughout the while. So it's interesting because Cannibal Holocaust was 80s, 90s was Blair Witch Project 1999, and 2007 was Paranormal Activity. So these keep going on in different iterations. Like I said, the story is about three filmmakers that go missing in 1994, and then this tape is found a year later. So it's just showing the tapes of these three kids, Heather, Josh, and Mike, and they kind of just do shenanigans, and then crazy shit starts happening. And I really like that. And they go to this place called Burkittsville, formerly known as Blair. And they have interviews with these people at the beginning, which I think is actually really funny. There were some really cool interviews with these people. Like there was one where there's a woman and her kid, and she's holding her kid right here, and she's saying the story of the Blair Witch, and then the kid is just like trying to shut the mom's mouth. This like 2-year-old kid, she's trying to shut this mom's mouth, and like the mom's like, "It's okay, it's not real." And then she goes, "It's real," like that, like right next to the kid where the kid didn't hear that. I thought that was a really funny moment in the movie, and I like how the movie does have moments of humor. I always forget that. I forget that the movie doesn't just be scary throughout. Like there are a couple moments of humor, and it works pretty well because it does ease the mood, especially later in the movie whenever they're going crazy, but then they have a couple moments of laughter, even though they are going insanely mad. Um, but I like the interviews at the beginning. I want to mention the acting from all three of these actors who I don't think I did anything else beforehand. Um, are incredible. Like the acting in this, especially from Heather, is truly fantastic. I was blown away by how great this actress who played Heather was. Her name's Heather in real life too. I think all these actors are the same name as they are in real life, but they have last names that are different, like that are last names based on like horror stuff. And Blair Witch 2 does that as well, where it's like they're the same names of the actors, but they use the last names of like horror stuff. And I can't remember if Blair Witch 2016 has done that, and I haven't rewatched that one as of yet of this review, but I will watch it soon. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail for Amazon. So, but yeah, it's interesting with these characters because these actors really are just doing like just playing around, and then their acting in this is genuinely so fantastic, and I was so surprised again. And it's weird to say I'm surprised so many times in this review for this movie because I've seen it before, but it's so cool how it is still a great movie every time I watch it again, and I really, really loved it on the rewatch again. I thought it was so fantastic. Um, I love too how the disbelief that they're getting lost is very subtle, and then at the beginning, and then as it goes along, like everything that they encounter, everything that they go through again and again, like they're in a loop, is so frightening and just so effective. Like how the acting is so fantastic and it makes it work so well with the usage of these characters just losing their minds. And I love how it's a movie that is really a don't show or tell. It's just you don't see anything. You don't ever see the Blair Witch. You just have weird shit happen. Like, and that's it. The closest you get to violence is seeing like a little thing with bloody teeth or bloody organs, something like that. I can't remember. That was in the little bag that was on the ground. But that's all the violence you actually see on camera. And it's not even shown. It's just like an aftermath effect of something. So I love that. I love how they just slowly descend into madness. It's fantastic. The things that put them on edge are so cool. I love that they wake up one morning from the tent. There's piles of rocks everywhere, and they're like, how did we in any way just purposefully sit right between three sets of rocks? It doesn't make any sense. I like how it's so dumb. I don't know why he does it, but I like how Mike throws the map into the river and they get pissed. They scream at him and just freak out because they're already going crazy, and it's already been established that they don't know where to go. They're completely lost. And I love stuff like that. And then you get to the unsubtle stuff where you're like, they find the giant sets of trees and twigs just shaped like people, and that is really, really effective. That's not subtle at all, and I liked how the movie built on that. It built on that establishing like scariness, but it made it super, super scary when that moment happened. And whenever they're in the tent and they're just trying to stay calm, but like they're in the dark, they've got nothing, and like there's rustling, there's voices, and it gets so terrifying. Because it's not the silent woods, like it's something is fucking with them, and it's Blair Witch. And I really I keep saying I love it, and I say that too many times. And then suddenly, like, I forget that this happens because I keep forgetting. I keep thinking he's at the end of the movie, but it's Mike. But Josh disappears out of the movie like completely. Like they don't know where he went. He's gone. They eventually get to the house, but he's just gone. And I liked that you never got an explanation. And I like too the scene where Heather, of course, does the close up, which Scary Movie kind of ruined. Because I came out a year after this, and I do love Scary Movie, the first one. That's hilarious, but they do kind of ruin that moment because like it still is effective in this movie, but I always think back more to Scary Movie. There's a couple of instances with Scary Movie where I'm like, man, I just remember that more because it's just so over the top. But it's a great scene in this movie of Heather like saying she's sorry and she didn't know what to do. Like now she doesn't know what she's gonna do. She's lost. I really like how this character just breaks down, and again, the acting is so incredible from these actors who I'm assuming had no acting credits or acting classes. So it's so cool to see that. Um, I like too at the end of the movie it just gets even more scary because it's weird. Even though I've seen the movie before, rewatching it again, I expected to see something in the house because the house is so creepy and a character of its own. They go into the house looking for Josh. Mike's in there, or Mike and Heather go in there, and then Mike is just suddenly in the corner, and he won't move, and he's crying and shivering. And then something hits Heather, and then the movie ends. And I'm like, that was abrupt, but it was so effective with all the use of them going to the house. And I remember Blair Witch 2016 being effective too, with the ending really effective. This one was more quick than 2016, from what I remember, in terms of them getting to the house at the end of the movie. This one was way quicker. But it still was effective. And all those things that I mentioned here, all the acting, all the scary subtleness of it, and the idea of not showing any violence, is so cool and so effective. And I genuinely love rewatching Blair Witch Project. I'm so glad I got to see it again. Even though I had it on DVD, but I just did. Sometimes I just don't rewatch stuff that much because there's so many movies I want to see that I haven't seen before. But I'm glad I got the chance to talk about it on camera. I'm glad you recommended it, John. So thank you. And that is it for today. Next up is Blair Witch 2. Maybe not next scheduled, but it's the next Blair Witch movie I'll talk about because it's obviously the second one. And I've got some things to say about that one. It's very, very interesting. It's one of the most interesting sequels like ever. Like I genuinely think it's very fascinating of a sequel. But that's it for Blair Witch 1. I'll talk about Blair Witch 2 sometime soon. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.